Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany, your friendly plant loving internet stranger, back with another video. Today I am introducing you to a new plant in my collection. I've only had this plant for about a week. This is the Philodendron Gloriosum. I got this plant from a local plant nursery and she is absolutely beautiful. This plant is in a 5-inch pot. The Philodendron Gloriosum is described as a creeping velvet leaf philodendron with heart-shaped leaves, as you can see. The leaves remind me very much of my Philodendron micin, which also has these velvety leaves. As the plant matures, it can grow to be about 2.5 feet tall to 3 feet. My plant is just shy of 1.5 feet tall, so I'm really curious to see how it will continue to grow. I already have a new leaf coming in and I've only had it for a week, and I don't even remember seeing this when I bought the plant. You can see it on this side, the new little leaf coming in. I also have a leaf that is yellowing, but that is just a natural part of the plant's life cycle, and I don't see it as a bad thing since there's a new leaf coming in as well. This plant is native to South America, and the hardiness zones are 10 and 11, which are not my hardiness zone, so it probably would not do well if I put it outside. It does enjoy warmth and high humidity. I have my AC running most of the time right now because it's like the middle of summertime, but I also turn my AC off early in the mornings when it's a bit cooler and I open the windows, and it does create a bit of humidity. It's pretty humid where I live. So all of my indoor plants have really been enjoying it. I have some philodendron in the home who have been thriving because I think I have been doing a really good job of balancing the cold AC with having the windows open and allowing the plants to actually enjoy the home being a little bit humid from time to time. So I expect that this one will do pretty well in my care just because it looks very similar to other philodendron that I do have in my home. And philodendron has just been a species of plant that I have felt pretty confident caring for. And yeah, it's already growing. I did notice today when I picked it up to actually put it on the table to film, it is root bound and it has roots sticking out. So that is also a positive sign for me. When I bought this plant, I asked the person at the plant shop if it would like to be root bound, and she said yes. And so I believe that because I didn't even notice when I bought it that there were roots sticking out the bottom, but I've only had it a week. And I mean, this new leaf is to the point where I'm noticing it now, and I did not notice this last week. So I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention to it or if it has grown that much over the course of a week. The Philodendron Gloriosum does like partial sun, so bright indirect light. I have mine sitting about 3 feet away from a southern window, a window that gets southern exposure, and it really seems to enjoy it. I have also been rotating the plant every few days. You can kind of tell which direction the sun was in for the plant. I have had the plant sitting where the window sun exposure is on this side. You can kind of tell like these leaves are pointing in that direction. But a few days ago, I had it shifted, so they were pointing in the other direction. I want to encourage this plant to grow and be balanced with how it's growing all the way around. So we have a new leaf coming in on this side. As this leaf dies off over here, hopefully we'll see some growth on that side as well. But I like to rotate my plants, especially the ones that are like near a window, so that they are not all growing to one side and just throwing the plant off balance. So I do rotate this one fairly regularly since I've had it over the last week. It's unlikely that this plant will bloom indoors because it will just need to be out in its natural element, high humidity, again, like in hardiness zones, 10 or 11, probably in a zone that's closest to its native habitat for me to see it flower. I have had some other plants flower, like my Hoyas always flower indoors. I've never had any philodendron flower indoors though, so I kind of believe this, that it won't flower indoors, but we'll see what happens. I don't plan to have it under any grow lights for the time being. I really like it sitting where it is, sort of sitting away from the south facing window. It seems to be enjoying that spot as well. And at some point I will repot it. I did notice that it's drying out fairly quickly. So if that continues, then I'll probably repot it before we exit summer season, which is growing season, so that I can have it repotted and ready for the wintertime. If I can manage it while it is in this current pot and a little root bound and just really keep up with the watering, I'll see how sustainable that is. I just don't want the plant to dry out, and it likes to be watered right before it dries out. So it's actually due for a watering right now. It's pretty lightweight, but the soil still has a little give. It's not like completely dry in the pot. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to water this and fertilize it. You can also fertilize it during the growing season. Fertilize it whenever you want to, but I like to fertilize my plants during the suggested times, which are like the growing seasons, if I can help it. Sometimes plants just need a little something in between those periods, but for this one, I'm going to try to keep it on a traditional fertilization schedule. I am going to be fertilizing this with banana water. I have some banana peels that I had soaking in water, and I have not yet treated this plant with any of the banana fertilizer, so I'm really excited to see how it responds to it. I have treated this plant for pests though. Not that it had any pests when I got it. Again, I got it about a week ago. Whenever I get a new plant in, I usually do either a systemic pesticide, which I did not do for this one, and or give it a neem bath. And that's what I did. I just washed the leaves off with a little bit of Dr. Bronner's Castle soap, and then let it rinse off, rinse it off without the soap getting into the soil and without the plant absorbing the soapy water. And then I just kind of sprayed it down with neem oil, and that was that. The leaves are in really, really good shape. I was buying this plant. I was pretty diligent about looking at it, closely, and looking at the leaves, looking under the leaves, looking closely at the soil. I didn't see any critters, which was a great sign. And they had a few plants in stock, like a few of these. And they also said that this had been a really popular plant since they had it in, and they were selling a bunch. So I wanted to make sure that I got one of the nicer looking plants, which is what I got. I'm really happy with how full it is. Yeah, I'm so excited to have this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Again, I love philodendron. I especially love when they have the velvety leaves. So I was really, really happy to add this one to my collection. As far as the soil goes, like I said, I'm going to see how long I can go without having to repot this plant if I just really stick with the watering schedule. And also acknowledging that it is summertime. So I have been running the AC. And even when I have the windows open, it's humid, but it's still pretty warm in the home. So I don't want the soil to dry out because that will be bad for the plant. So if I do decide to repot this plant, I will be using a very well draining soil, something like orchid bark, perlite, and then mixing that with regular potting soil so that it's a loose, breathable soil, so that it's loose and that the plant is not so tightly packed in there, because these are apparently really susceptible to root rot. And I don't want that to happen. And I mean, this plant seems pretty healthy right now, and that could also be another part of the reason why this is so lightweight, is because the growing medium is pretty lightweight, because this does look like the soil isn't super packed in here, right? So it's a little grainy. So because these plants are very susceptible to root rot, I will be repotting this. When I decide to repot it, I will be repotting it in a looser, well-draining potting mix. So I would probably mix regular potting soil with perlite and orchid bark, or maybe even reptile bark, because I have some of that. I don't know if I have any orchid bark on hand. But something that's not going to be too tightly packed, and something that will allow the roots to breathe, so that when I water it, the water is not just puddling up in the container. Well draining soil will prevent this plant from getting root rot. So yeah, I am really happy with this plant. I think it's such a beautiful plant. It's easy to care for. Again, I've only had it for a week, but so far it's been really easy to care for. I feel confident in my ability to care for philodendron. I have several of them, like I mentioned, and so this one was a welcomed addition to my home. I might actually, even if I don't repot it, I might actually put this into a larger, heavier container, because I can see this becoming really top heavy, since it is like pretty top heavy in the bottom. The pot is pretty small. I don't want to put it into a giant pot, but maybe a decorative pot, and I can just drop this in there just so it helps to weigh the plant down and so that it can continue to grow comfortably without potentially like toppling over and then maybe breaking leaves or something. I don't want that to happen. So that's probably the extent of like what I will do with this plant right now, outside of watering and fertilizing it. But I'm really happy to share it. I will be sure to show you all updates. The way it's growing right now, I'm wondering if this is going to be a similar grower to my Philodendron Florida Green, which has been such a phenomenal grower for me. And I can't wait to even see what this will grow like when I'm traveling or when I turn my overhead grow lights on, because when I leave my plants, like if I'm traveling or something or away from home for extended periods, I leave an overhead grow light on and the philodendrons go crazy. Whenever I come back, my Philodendron Florida Green always has like 1 or 2 new leaves, and it just looks better than when I left it. So I'm hoping that this plant will acclimate in the same way. I kind of want to just test out to see how it grows and how it acclimates to being under a grow light as well. But yeah, I'm happy to have it. I am excited to take you all on this journey with my new Philodendron Gloriosum. Let me know in the comments if you have this plant, any tips you might have for me, any challenges you've had with this plant, and I'm, happy to answer the questions as I see them come in. And thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed filming this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.